Chihiro here.
Daniel here. I've been better. I'm joined in the studio by Chihiro, the newest member of EnglishClass101.com. Welcome, Chihiro.
Thanks, Daniel. I'm very happy to be here.
Everyone, please visit the website and leave a comment for Chihiro.
Yes, that would be great. What are we studying in this lesson, Daniel?
In this lesson, you will learn how to talk about earlier events.
This conversation takes place on the campus of Innovative University.
The conversation is between Vicky and Oksana.
The speakers are friends, therefore the speakers will be speaking casually.
Okay, let's listen to the conversation.
Hey Vicky, how are you doing?
I've been better.
What's wrong?
I found out that the guy I went to see Attraction with had seen the same movie the night before with another girl.
Wait, is this that Marco guy?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I've heard that he's like that. Always dating several girls at once.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the other girl too.
Let's change the subject.
Yeah, let's.
So, how's your reading class?
It's pretty hard. I will have read 2,000 pages when we finish.
Dang, that's a lot of pages.
Now let's listen to it again slowly.
Hey Vicky, how are you doing?
I've been better.
What's wrong?
I found out that the guy I went to see Attraction with had seen the same movie the night before with another girl.
Wait, is this that Marco guy?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I've heard that he's like that. Always dating several girls at once.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the other girl too.
Let's change the subject.
Yeah, let's.
So, how is your reading class?
It's pretty hard. I will have read 2,000 pages when we finish.
Dang, that's a lot of pages.
So, Chihiro, do you know any guys like Marco?
I fortunately or unfortunately, whichever point you look at it from, do.
And what do you think about guys like Marco?
Well, it's not only guys, I guess. Girls can also do the same thing. I guess it just depends on whether the other person knows or not.
I guess you're right. As long as the person who is dating more than one person is honest about it, then maybe it's okay.
I agree with you. If neither party has any problems with it, then it should be fine.
But if one of them doesn't know,
And in this case, Yuki and Vicky didn't know.
that could be a problem.
Yes, it could be a problem.
Okay, let's take a look at the vocabulary for this lesson. Our first one is
I've been better.
not great. There have been times when the person has felt better than now.
I've been better. I've been better.
The next word is
Movie.
recording of images as a story that people can watch on a screen.
Movie. Movie.
Next we have
Guy.
man.
Guy. Guy.
Next we have
To date.
to do an activity with someone with a possibility of a romantic relationship.
To date. To date.
The next word is
Several.
more than two, but not many.
Several. Several.
The next one is
To find out.
to become aware of something.
To find out. To find out.
Next we have
To change the subject.
to talk about something else suddenly.
To change the subject. To change the subject.
The next word is
Pretty.
fairly, to a degree.
Pretty. Pretty.
Next we have
Dang.
exclamation used to show surprise or anger or annoyance.
Dang. Dang.
And the last one is
To finish.
to reach the end of something.
To finish. To finish.
Let's have a closer look at the usage for some of the words and phrases from this lesson.
The first phrase we'll look at is, what's wrong?
When we see someone who looks sad or unhappy, we often use this expression to ask the person about their situation.
It's a friendly way of showing your concern when you notice that a person has a problem, and it's also a way to urge the other person to talk about the situation with you.
In the dialogue, Oksana has noticed that Vicky isn't doing well. Therefore, she asks about her situation.
Other ways of asking are, is everything okay? Or, what's the matter?
The next expression we will look at is, that so-and-so guy, as in, that Marco guy from the dialogue.
As you can see, Oksana has never met Marco before, but only knows him from conversations with Vicky and Yuki.
Right, that so-and-so guy is a way of talking about a person that one doesn't know personally, with a slight negative feel toward that person.
In the dialogue, Oksana addresses Marco, a person she has only heard of, in this way to express her slight lack of respect for him.
Be sure to listen to the dialogue again and see how these words and phrases are used there.
Good idea. Okay, so what is the grammar point for today?
The focus of this lesson is the perfect aspect.
For example, in the dialogue we heard the sentence, I've been better.
In Beginner Series Season 1, Lesson 6, we learned that the 12 tenses in English are really 3 tenses and 4 aspects, and that by combining these tenses and aspects, we get this number 12.
Then, in Lesson 7, we were introduced to the progressive aspect and looked at how it combines with present, past, and future tenses to make meaning.
In this lesson, we will look at the perfect aspect of verbs.
We will be contrasting the perfect aspect with the simple aspect and the progressive aspect, so we hope you remember them. If not, be sure to review by listening to Beginner Series Season 1, Lessons 6 and 7, and reading the grammar points in the PDFs.
Yes, we can't stress enough how useful the PDFs are. Chihiro, you've listened to the previous lessons, right?
Of course.
Good. Do you remember what the core meaning or the main meaning of the simple aspect is?
I do. The core meaning of the simple aspect is that the event is thought of as a complete, unchanging event.
That's right. How about the progressive aspect?
The core meaning of the progressive aspect is that the event is considered incomplete or temporary. How about the perfect aspect?
The core meaning of the perfect aspect is prior or before. You can notice the form of the perfect by the presence of the words has, have, or had before the main verb, and that the main verb is found in the form of the past participle. That is, it often ends with the ed or en ending. Chihiro, please give us an example.
Sure. For example, I have eaten dinner already. Eaten is the past participle form of eat, and with have before it, the verb shows that the eating happened prior to now.
Yes, good example. Now, let's combine the perfect aspect with the verb tenses and see how they work together. Chihiro, what did we say the present tense is used for?
The present tense is used to talk about events that are happening now.
That's right. So we can combine the present tense with the perfect aspect to talk about events that happened before now, but are relevant to now. What's an example from the dialogue?
In the dialogue, we heard Oksana say, I have heard that he's like that, talking about Marco. The have part of the verb is in the present tense and is combined with the past participle of hear, which is heard.
Right. So in our example, we are saying that Oksana heard about Marco sometime before now and is somehow related to the present condition.
In this case, it is relevant because it seems Marco has treated women the same way before.
What a guy.
Okay. What other uses are there for a present perfect?
The present perfect form can also be used to talk about situations that began in the past and continue to the present, and also for recently completed actions. We'll look at some more uses of the present perfect when we study the present tense in more detail.
Okay. how about the past tense? How is the perfect aspect used with it?
Okay, but first let me ask you, what did we say the past tense is used for?
We've said that we use the past tense to talk about events that happened before now. For example, when we talk about yesterday, we usually use the past tense.
Right. So when we combine the past tense with the perfect aspect, we are usually talking about one action that was completed before another action or time. What is an example of this use from the dialogue?
In the dialogue, Vicky said, I found out that the guy I went to see attraction with had seen the movie the night before. The had part of the verb is in the past tense and is combined with the past participle of see, which is seen.
So, in our example, Vicky says that Marco saw the movie sometime before he and Vicky also went to see it. We'll look at some more uses of the past perfect when we study the past tense in more detail.
That leaves the future tense, right?
Right. And what did we say the future tense is used for?
We said that we use the future tense to talk about events that have not happened yet or may happen after now. For example, when we talk about tomorrow, we usually use the future tense.
Exactly. So, if you use it with the perfect aspect, we are talking about an event that will be completed before another future event. What is the example in the dialogue for this use?
In the dialogue, Vicky says, I will have read 2,000 pages when we finish. The will have part of the verb is in the future tense and is referring to the end of the course, which has not happened yet. This is combined with the past participle of read, which is read.
So, in our example, Vicky predicts that before she finishes the course, she will read 2,000 pages. We'll look at some more uses of the future perfect when we study the future tense in more detail.
Sounds good.
Also, in future lessons, we will look at the present tense, past tense, and future tense more carefully. We will learn the main idea for each tense because we now understand that tense is not just about time. And when we look at each tense, we will also review the meaning of the perfect aspect again.
But before we go, we want to remind you of a tip we've been sharing for a few lessons.
Yeah, it's so important we are repeating ourselves.
Our tip is that noticing the forms of language is a very important part of learning.
Yes, and while practice is essential also, we hope these 3 lessons have helped you to notice language forms more.
Starting with the next lesson, when we look at the verb tenses more carefully, we will give you plenty of opportunities to practice what you learn. Until then, use your new knowledge to notice, and you will be able to start using new grammar forms, catch your own mistakes quicker, and use the correct forms.
Also, be sure to review the Grammar Point for Beginner Series Season 1, Lessons 6 and 7.
Review, 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 and review.
Well, that just about does it for this lesson. Until next time, see you later.
Bye, guys.
Hey Vicky, how are you doing?
I've been better.
What's wrong?
I found out that the guy I went to see attraction with had seen the same movie the night before with another girl.
Wait, is this that Marco guy?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I've heard that he's like that. Always dating several girls at once.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the other girl too.
Let's change the subject.
Yeah, let's.
So, how's your reading class?
It's pretty hard. I will have read 2,000 pages when we finish.
Dang, that's a lot of pages.